Krystal, what are you taking a look at?
After being the first show to cross the writer's strike picket line and announce the return of her show, Drew Barrymore realized she knew exactly who the real victim in this situation is. Herself. She posted a weepy, rather pathetic video to Instagram attempting to explain the unexplainable, why she threw her own writers and all the other writers and working people looking for a little bit of solidarity under the bus.
There are so many reasons why this is so complex. And I just want everyone to know my intentions have never been in a place to upset or hurt anyone. It's not who I am. I've been through so many ups and downs in my life, and this is one of them. I deeply apologize to writers. I deeply apologize to unions. I deeply apologize I don't exactly know what to say because sometimes when things are so tough, it's hard to make decisions from that place. There's a huge question of the why. Why am I doing this? Well, I certainly couldn't have expected this kind of attention. We aren't going to break rules and we will be in compliance. I wanted to do this because, as I said, this is bigger than me and there are other people's jobs on the line. And since launching live in a pandemic, I just wanted to make a show that was there for people in sensitive times.
So you wanted to help people in sensitive times by screwing working people struggling in sensitive times? Make it make sense. Now, they say that celebrities become frozen in time at whatever age they become famous. Drew was 7 when she became a national sensation in E.T. That level of emotional maturity sounds about right. Now, after people reacted with what I can only imagine was universal revulsion at the sight of this wealthy celebrity having a public pity party over their own bad decision, Drew deleted the video, and now I actually have some good news to report. After widespread outrage, she's announced that she is reversing course, delaying the return of her show until the end of the strike. Thank you, Drew. Big win for online shaming and an even bigger win for writers. But I have to say, in some ways, the damage here has already been done. After Drew took the initial hit for being the first to cross the picket line, other shows quietly decided to do the same. The Talk, the Jennifer Hudson Show, said they are resuming production as well. Contrast this approach with that of other celebrities who have taken an actual stand in solidarity with their writers and show staffs. Yes, the content is very cringe, but Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, John Oliver, Seth Meyers, and Stephen Colbert did launch a podcast with all proceeds going to make sure that their striking staffs can hold the line and still make the rent. You see, when you're a wealthy celebrity, you do have other options available than becoming the Hollywood version of a union-busting Pinkerton. Now, support for the strikers has come from another unlikely place as well, though, the California legislature. The State House and Senate just passed a law which would make striking workers eligible for unemployment insurance at a rate of $450 per week. Now, New York and New Jersey workers already benefit from similar legislation. California could become the 3rd state in the country to follow suit. But the ball is now in the hands of Governor Gavin Newsom, and it is far from certain that he will actually sign this bill into law. Newsom has been known to use his veto pen and has not been a 100% reliable friend to labor, so we will be watching closely to see what he will actually do here, because the stakes could hardly be higher. Recall, studio executives literally said directly they were going to use the threat of homelessness in famously unaffordable California to try to force writers to take whatever bad deal they are willing to give them. And a lot is on the line here too. Writers are trying to preserve the basics of a living in an era of streaming and in an era of ChatGPT, where tech is only going to become more of a threat to their livelihoods. They're also fighting really on behalf of human creativity at a time when we are in danger of having our humanity devoured and sold back to us by the oligarchs' robots. If the state here could give them any kind of assist in their attempt to stay fed and housed for the duration of the strike, that could be huge. Now, in spite of the selfish narcissism of people like Drew Barrymore and the corporate greed of, well, literally every corporate CEO, striking workers actually have more of a shot at success now than perhaps ever in my lifetime. For the first time in generations, the legal landscape is starting to shift a little bit back towards more fairness for workers. We've, of course, covered the federal progress made by the National Labor Relations Board, but California is far from the only blue state that has passed pro-worker laws since the midterms. In Minnesota, the Democratic governor and 1-seat Senate majority has perhaps gone the furthest, comprehensive labor bill, including paid family and medical leave, ban on non-compete clauses, ban on anti-union captive audience meetings, new protections for workers in dangerous industries like Amazon warehouses and meatpacking plants. Illinois enshrined union rights in the state constitution, banning so-called right to work for the private sector, and also passed 40 hours of annual paid leave to be used by workers for whatever they wish. And Michigan, this year, became the first state in 58 years to repeal so-called right-to-work laws, anti-union legislation which has been pushed by Republicans to undercut labor. Now, this all represents a tectonic shift in the typical trajectory of labor rights, which for decades only trended in one direction, and that was race to the bottom. And just as important here, the public is on the side of these workers. According to Gallup, Americans backed the striking writers over the studio bosses by a margin of 72 to 19. They backed the actors almost as strongly, 67 to 24, and they are strongly behind the auto workers over the big three, 75 to 19. So, if you are a millionaire out there thinking of backing the bosses, crossing a picket line, becoming a scab, take Drew Barrymore here as a little bit of a cautionary tale, because this really isn't complicated. It comes down to one simple question: whose side are you on? And I guess I'm heartened to see that she did.
Hey guys, if you want to see what I had to say to Krystal's monologue, not just this one, all of them, going back to the very beginning, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com.